Hey everybody, Hunter Fisher, Trapper, Trader, Guide, Scout, and Interpreter, and just a country cook, Steve Hall, here in Nashville, Tennessee, along with pretty Miss Sheila, doing a great job running that camera. Hi, Sheila.
Hi.
You need to get back over here for some recipes because you look great on camera. Today we're going to do deep fried oysters. Now, I got a system for oysters that I use. If I'm going to make oyster stew, I use the oysters in the can. I don't use these in this little tub that you get at the grocery store. If I want oysters on the half shell, boy, they got to be fresh shucked oysters on the half shell. Slide them onto a cracker, hit them with a little hot sauce or a little cocktail sauce. Delicious. I don't use these little tubs full of oysters. These things, for some reason, in oyster stew or straight up, just don't taste good to me. You can get them in the little 8-ounce or 16-ounce containers, and there's some honking oysters. These are some big oysters that come out of here, but they're perfect if you marinate them overnight or even for a few hours, 6 to 8 hours, and then you deep fry them in flour and cornstarch and make deep fried oysters. They come out delicious. That's what these are good for, so that's what we're going to use. But first, I'm going to carve these up a little bit and take that little chewy part that always sticks in your teeth. I'm going to take that out. Come on over. Let's get started. It's kind of a little translucent, chewy, real hard little chewy chunk. And believe it or not, every now and then you'll find an oyster that you can't find it in. But I got these out of these oysters right here, and I only used a little 8-ounce tub just so I could show you the recipe. Normally I buy the 1 pound or 16-ounce tub because that works perfect to make a little batch. And I cut these in half. I'm going to put them in this bowl here. It's just about deep fried in chunk. This one here kind of made itself into 3 pieces, which is just fine. And if you do get a great big one, you can cut it into 3 pieces if you want, because we're going to roll it in flour and cornstarch in just a second. Well, not just a second, in a few hours, I should say. First of all, we're going to take this. Now you can use buttermilk or you can use half and half. If you don't have buttermilk, you can use half and half, but you do want to use a heavy, at least a whole milk, till you get it covered up real good. And don't be afraid to lay the hot sauce to it, because this isn't all going in the recipe. It just kind of coats it during the marinating. So I'm going to put in at least a tablespoon of Tabasco sauce in there. There we go, at least, if not more. I can find me a little spoon over here, and I want to gently stir this around. I don't happen to have it right in front of me, but I love that hot sauce that's got the little round wooden cap on it. It's like a chamaka or chamolka or something, I can't remember, but you know me, like I said, I'm a country cook. Just look for the hot sauce with the little round wooden ball on top, and that's the one that I like to use in this recipe. Didn't have it today, so Tabasco goes back to work. So there we go. We got them covered with half and half, at least a tablespoon of Tabasco sauce, and we're going to let this sit in the refrigerator for 6 to 8 hours. We'll bring it back and show you what we're going to do next. All right, these have been in the refrigerator for about 4 hours because we wanted to complete the recipe, but it's best if you soak them overnight. Do not rinse them off. Leave the milk on there. You can run them through a little colander like this and shake it to get most of the liquid off of them. But don't rinse them off. Make sure that milk and that hot sauce stays on there. We'll move this out of the way, and in this bowl, and remember, normally I make this mixture here for 1 pound or 16 ounces of those oysters in them jugs from the store. That's 2 cups of flour and a half a cup of cornstarch in there. And we're also going to stop camera and hit this with some salt and pepper. All right, we found our salt and pepper shakers. We're going to give this about a half a teaspoon of salt and about a half a teaspoon of pepper. And we might as well throw in a little Tony Chachere's. Not much, because it has salt in it too, so only about a quarter of a teaspoon or so, and mix that in there. Now, we have our oil over here, up to 350 degrees, and we're only going to dunk these one time. You don't want to double dip. I know a lot of people do, you know, like whatever you're doing, different chicken or whatever. You'll put it in the flour, back in the mixture, back in the flour, all that stuff. In fact, we're just going to go right from here in here. We're not even using a wet mixture at all. We're just going from the way they are out of the fridge, drained into the flour and cornstarch mixture into the hot oil. Let's do that. All right, just chuck them in here, coat them real good. Drop them in our oil. I wish I had a whole container, 16-ounce container, just because it makes a better finished product to show on camera, because we're only going to have a little dabble-do-ya of these guys. But this is a great recipe, and this really, if you have ever bought a little jug or a little plastic tub of these oysters and took them home and they tasted like, you know, not good, that's because this is really the only thing I think you can do with them. You can't put them on a cracker and eat them. They aren't good in oyster stew, I don't think. It's not the same flavor. All right. I didn't put one right in the oil, did I, honey, without dipping it? I don't know. I got talking, got thinking about something else, you know. But again, for this little batch, I probably got twice as much flour as I need. For only the little 8-ounce, I could have got by with 1 cup and a quarter of flour, all-purpose flour, and like a quarter cup of cornstarch instead of a half a cup. But these are going to come out so crispy and so delicious. You're just going to love them. Then you'll finally have something to do with that little tub of oysters that don't taste good from the store. So marinate them overnight. Let me see if there's any other little chunks floating around in there. I don't see nothing. All right, we'll move our little deep fryer front and center, and we'll be right back with you. Boy, talk about a panic. We were like the Keystone Cops around here, weren't we, Sheila? Right. Just as we got all this stuff in here, the battery started flashing on the camera, so we had to run in and switch a battery. And I had just dropped these in here, and I also wanted to wash the little tongs off so I could pick out the deepest and darkest, crunchiest looking little oysters as they get done. Because remember, I put them in one at a time, so kind of stir them around here a little bit in your oil and look for the darkest one to float for the top. And about 2 minutes, I'd say, is good. But just until they're real nice and golden brown, then give them about another 30 seconds to make sure they're cooked all the way through. But, and of course, I like raw oysters, but I don't like these raw, so we want these cooked. And I can already see the crunchy little edges all over here from the cornstarch. Man, that just makes such a wonderful recipe. We have another recipe on our cooking channel, deep fried chicken livers. We do the same thing, a little bit different system. We use buttermilk and a couple other changes that we do to it. But this is really the way, trust me, to make these little guys on the shelf over there by the seafood taste absolutely delicious. I ain't kidding you. When you crunch into that, the flavor of the oyster in the middle, because it's been marinated and because it's been deep fried, has such delicious flavor. It really does. It's not really bad language. I hate these. I hate the taste of them raw, and I hate them in oysters too. They just taste nasty. There, I got that out of my way. But I love them done like this. They taste so fantastic. And you don't have to go shuck oysters to get that flavor. So hope you give this a try. Getting down to some of these last ones in here. See, Sheila, I should have bought one of those big 16-ounce tubs and did twice this many. That way you could have got in on some of these too. Yeah, sure. She don't like these or livers, either one. She's missing out on some great tastes in the world. But there we have it. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off right now because the oil will cook the rest of this last one here. Give him just another 10 seconds or so. And don't forget, when you subscribe to our channel, right next to the subscribe button is a little bell. And if you click on that bell, it'll give you a drop-down option page. Click yes, we want everything, and click save, and then every time we do a recipe, you'll get all of them. There you have it. Delicious, crunchy, deep-fried oysters. If you've ever tried to do something with a little tub of these and didn't like them, you join the club. I don't like them either. But make sure you rinse them off real good when you take them out of the tub. Put them in a bowl. Cut off those little chewy parts. Put some, half and half and some hot sauce. Marinate them. The longer the better, I think. At least 8 hours, if not overnight. Then pour them through a colander. Don't take that cream or that milk or buttermilk or whatever you choose to use off there. Put it in your flour, your cornstarch. Throw some seasoning in there. Maybe a little Tony Chachere's if you want to spice it up a little bit. You drop it in that oil, it'll turn fluffy, crunchy. In the middle will be done if you cut it in smaller pieces, and it tastes so delicious done this way. I hope you enjoy this recipe because I love these little guys. I'll make a bigger batch next time. Hope you subscribe to our channel, and that is really easy to do. Shotgun Red's face will pop up over here in just a second. Click on that, you can subscribe to our channel. Over here, we'll put up another recipe we hope you enjoy. In fact, maybe I'll put up that deep-fried chicken liver recipe over here so you can kind of enjoy both of them. But either way, is this the best little fluffy, crunchy, delicious inside oysters out of a tub at the store that you've ever ate? If it ain't, it ought to be. These are terrific. Sheila, did you enjoy the recipe?
I did.
I know this is not your forte, but I'm going to take these in the kitchen, turn on a little game that we got recorded, and enjoy. Oh, I was going to tell you, there's one other thing. Hold on a second. I got to show you the sauce. I'm not going to make Sheila bring the camera all the way back over here. I'll show you what you do. Get yourself a bottle of ranch dressing, the original stuff. Don't buy that low carb, low fat, whatever it is. Put some in a bowl like that right there. You get your little sriracha sauce out here and put in just a little bit of red on top. I hope you can see that back there. Take your finger and stir it all in real good, just like that. That way you get to go, oh, that stuff, I kind of made it up myself with that. It's a sriracha cha, Texas Pete's sriracha, whatever. But anyway, you use this ranch dressing, put a squirt of that on top, stir it in, and when you dunk these in here, it's out of this world. In fact, we'll see you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. Perfect.